That's how you know. That's how you know Albert's game is really, really good. He can be like, I'm going to the bathroom and still getting kisses. Do not try this at home.
He comes back with toilet paper on his shoe, and he's like,
This is only for seismic level coaches. Do not start with.
You ever seen nudity over there or no?
They see more nudity over on us. More than
You guys have any sex right here in this area?
She's always worried about me showing nudity to the other guys.
He's got his Johnson out?
Sometimes.
In the common area?
Music Johnson.
So Johnson out?
Full Johnson.
I don't care anymore. You can definitely see through my window. I don't care anymore.
Right, I don't care if she cares about it, but
Whatever.
I think it's.
These are the people we see at the grocery store. You're like,
Maybe you see them. I don't see them at the grocery store.
Seeing you naked, seeing them.
When they want sausage, they know where to go.
Wow.
Jesus.
Eggplant's out.
Yeah. So Brandon, deliver.
Deliver what? Pizza?
And it's not the after party anymore. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's not the after party. It's
Oh, yeah,
the
it's the fun continuum.
Okay. So the attraction ladder. We've got the after party. Cosmo wanted to call it the invitation rung of the ladder. He wants to call it.
After party sounds like it was developed by kids at a bar mitzvah. I just think it's no good.
I mean, I was at a bar mitzvah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
And then Cosmo had something.
But he wants the fun continuum.
Yeah. We're all headed to the fun continuum.
That's just a.
It's a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
What do you want to call this?
We're going to the world
I don't actually care what we call it as long as we don't call it the after party.
or the invitation.
What's wrong with the after party?
I don't know. Unless
Thank
it's at
you.
Waffle House, it doesn't sound
No,
like
here,
it.
tell him again, and all of you the your
Yeah.
ladder. What was your ladder again?
Oh, yeah, it was no good. I realize I don't really pay attention when Jarrett talks.
Please tell Albert what you think. Oh, it starts with open. Go.
Yeah, but I used some other word for open. I was like the hello greeting monitor or something.
Hello Kitty.
Yeah, Hello Kitty.
Why do you have such a problem with the names of the stuff, man?
Because I don't know it, so I had to make so I had to make it up. It's like imagine if you had never seen shoes before. You're like the blister preventer 3000 there. That's what I did because I never heard that.
This is Albert. No, this is Brandon's actual ladder. He goes, you start, and then you say you funny it up, do something attractive, and close it.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, the thing about him
I
is
show him pictures of like a really neat apartment.
actually, this is what I think outlines the differences between you two is Brandon is a contrarian by nature and you're a bandwagoner by nature. You're like, this is cool and hip and positive. I'm going with it. Brandon's like, I hate people
everything.
that do this. I hate like whatever's like he contrarian more so. He just like doesn't like the status quo. And you're like, the status quo will lead me into the direction I need to go in my life.
I like breaking down patterns of what works.
That's what I'm saying. Jared's like, like when you start this podcast, you're like, what makes the podcast work? And I'm like, what makes us work?
You know what I did when I started in real estate, right? I literally took information from everybody and I figured out what all of the popular real estate courses were teaching and tried to do the opposite. I was like, if all of these people
Do not try this at home.
Yeah, I was like, no, but I was seriously. I was like, if all of these people are going to all of these courses that everyone is suggesting,
It's kinda
that
true.
everybody is doing the same thing, and that
You gotta do
cannot be
something
good.
different. Yeah. Nothing wrong with being unique and innovative.
I don't want to be unique. I just want to be like effective. And if everybody is doing one thing, like when everybody started to get into all of the stuff with the game, I'm sure people got more familiar with it, and then girls started pointing it out and shit.
Okay, all right. In Brandon's event, I did something similar to this. So back in like 2008, about the time we started hanging out, actually, the dominant opener everybody was using was the opinion opener. Everybody with opinion. And I remember going out, all these fucking pickup guys everywhere doing opinion opener. So I remember going up to a girl and going, is it just me or are all these weird people asking my opinion on shit?
Yeah.
Love that. I love
100%.
that.
And then the girl was like, yes, that happened. And knowing like
I love
the
that.
other guys in LA
yeah.
were around here. So I'm like, I'm just going to use this to my advantage.
100%.
Yeah.
That to me is like, that's the important level, Jarrett, is like taking at face value. So like something I teach that's really common is, so you know when you see like really tall girls out that it's obvious they play sports. You're like, these girls there's like 3 of them, they're 6 foot tall, like they're volleyball players, they're basketball players. As opposed to being like, so what sport do you play? You should say to them,
I guess.
what?
How many people say,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how often do guys
Come up, yeah.
come up to you and say, what sport do you play? And
It's brilliant.
Because you're what you're doing is you're embracing, you're understanding the world from their lens. And I think that's what like the way I coach now is like I coach trying to get into other people's heads and understanding how they view the world and
I think
connecting with them.
That only comes from having, the only reason I was able to even get that is because that comes from having a social circle of women and then seeing it what they go through. Like before I was ever befriending women, there's no way I would be able to guess that opener. There's no way, like, because you don't have a clue. Guys out there, they only know shit from women by their experience trying to pick them up in a nightclub or YouTube videos.
I literally think though, it's like if you stop and you're like, whatever my first thought is just incorrect. Like if it,
And usually second.
seriously, because if the first thing you're like, wow, that's a tall girl, she's got to play volleyball, be like, don't say that. Like if you meet a teacher out, don't say I want to bend you over a desk or be a naughty student.
Wait,
like
don't say that?
every guy says that to them.
Damn it.
Well, no, but I disagree. I think it's okay to like
Bend, you want to bend her over the desk?
no. I think it's okay to ask the formulaic.
Oh, you're gonna get detention, bro.
Canceled.
No, it's okay to ask the
Principal,
Jesus.
it's okay to ask the advice of the other students in the class.
Yeah, but I actually I disagree with that. I think that you should make the formulaic mistakes and get out there and ask a stupid question and get bad feedback and then mature and learn. That's how Jared and I learned. When we started, we sucked, but we had to suck, right, Jared? Like you had to learn how to get bad feedback and then be like, oh, instead of saying, do you play volleyball, say, how often do people ask you that, right? You have to like,
But this kind of thing I would never have learned other than through social circle. I could approach 10 times the amount of girls I approached. I don't think I'd get this inside their head unless I started hanging around with them, because it was the number one thing that like took my game to the next development.
I'm not saying don't suck either. I'm just saying once you realize that you're sucking, look for a different angle.
why do you
Learn from mistakes.
Why do you think you can't learn from it during approaches, Jared?
So when you cold approach women, right? Maybe eventually, but it would be the longest route, because all my view from 2006 to 2008 or 9, when I'm like, oh, soul circle, was again just approaching women how they present themselves in a club or bar, which is not how they are in just normal life, real world, or stuff I saw from a book or from a video. And then when I actually started hanging out with them, I'm like, oh, okay, they can be silly, they can be gross, they can be, whatever. They've got their own fears, their own anxieties, they got their own traumas and shit that they're dealing with. And it became like one of the girls, and I had that like insider track. And then I could start talking like them, bringing up common problems and things that they think about. And you could see the glare in their eye, like, oh, you hang out with girls, like you know things, or how do you know that about women that you just would only get by actually hanging out with them?
I disagree completely.
Go ahead.
I think that you learn a lot by being around people who suck. So like the other day I was in an Uber.
I've learned so much by being around you guys. Yeah. It's been a true learning experience.
No, like the other day I was in an Uber and this guy kept telling this story that he found his own segues. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like what all the students who try to storytell and aren't good do. So like I figured out what everybody does who isn't good socially. And then I flipped it on his ass. And then I learned from the very few people who are good socially. And I'm like, oh, that's what the successful ones do. That's what the shitty ones do. And then I flipped it all.
Yeah, I mean, role modeling for sure. Tony Robbins talks about that. If you see somebody who's good at something, you model it. And that absolutely, that I can do from cold approach.
And the bad ones. You see the ones that are bad, you're like, this guy's so cringy. What are his mistakes? Whatever he's doing, we got to do the opposite. So like when guys are like, oh, do you guys play volleyball? And I could see the girl's face was just like, yeah, sure. I'm like, ooh, that didn't hit at all, that girl.
Right.
Oh, maybe if he took this approach, it would have hit. You know what I'm saying?
But again, it's the long route versus when you're hanging out with girls and you're hearing their complaints all the time and you go, noted. Like, I feel like I'm peeking behind the veil versus I got to watch the magic show a million times to figure it. That's exactly what it is. You can figure out a magic trick by watching the magic show again and again and again and again and be like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. Or you can just hang out with the magicians. It's literally just a fast route. Like, I'm just like, I know which guys you hate. I know which guys you like. I'm seeing the guys you date. So I'm knowing which guys are good.
Here's my counter. The problem is hanging out with the magicians is that this means we'd have to hang out with more girls, and girls they're just not that fun.
And let's just
be honest. Girls are not that fun.
We've had this debate for all right, anyway.
No offense. No, let's go.
What I was going to say, though, is if you're hanging out with the magicians, I think that you can't actually, the magicians in this reference being women, obviously, like you can't actually listen to what they're saying, though. Yeah. You can't listen.
No, correct.
Right.
Granted.
So that's a very key point.
But
You can't be like, I just want a guy that such and such, and you like make a note. That note's going to be useless.
Correct. I'm not getting advice from them.
No.
I'm watching and observing them
well, that's what
like
I'm
the
clarifying.
gorillas that Jane was in Africa. I'm just like, I'm watching the gorillas, but I get a behind the scenes view of it of like, wait, she's like, I don't date any guys who are mean to me and assholes. And I'm like, she's dating Jacob. Like, not, like,
they don't even know what they want. That's why I'm like, I think a guy who's around a bunch of girls all the time is not necessarily going to have better game than a guy who's around guys who gets with a lot of girls.
He might not have better game, but he'll be better calibrated, I think. He'll like know what not to say. He might not know what to say, but he'll know what not to say.
He'll know how to not freak them out.
That's what I'm saying.
But he won't know how to attract them as much.
No, but it's a better start. It's like a decent
Small start.
I'd rather start with being able to have the interaction than like spooking them with some like overly sexual cringe comment.
Which so many, every guy, I don't know what it, every time I do drills with like new guys coming in, it's the same shit over and over. They're crazy boring or just crazy pickup guy forward. There's like,
They got the cum coming out their eyes though. They don't know what to do, so they can't get laid, and they're just nice to meet you.
I mean, Brent's heard me doing these calls, but they're either just like, where are you from? What do you do? How's it go? Like, I feel like the girl like, this is obnoxious. Or they're like, so can I buy you a drink?
Well, they have
you're very pretty and gorgeous.
They have crazy, crippling social anxiety, or they have like overly sexualized like rage, basically. That's what it is they got the cum coming out of their eyes, or they're going to piss their pants.
I think that, Jarrett, what I've noticed is they can't turn on or off the interest level. So like, I think what you're saying was whether they're pickup-y or they're boring question. To me, it's more like, you ever watch a student at a bar?
Yeah.
And they're just, yeah.
He's like professionally for years.
For 17 years.
As you were doing this, do you ever watch them and notice their gaze, like their eye contact is
Al, we're trying to pick up women.
exclusively on the girl and doesn't break. So if you ever watch a guy, they just do this and they lock into the girl and they're talking and they're here. They never kind of sway out.
Yeah.
They never open up. They never like engage it. Like I was working with some guys the other day and I was like, you notice when you're in, you're just in. And then when you're out, you're just out. And the guys that are really good are actually constantly, you're kind of swaying in and out. You're oscillating.
Yeah.
You're like talking to the girl and then you kind of take away some interest and you're looking over there. And you're like, oh my God, look at this part of the bar. And then you're like back to her. Wait, what was that? And then you're like, it's the idea, and that's what actually attracts women is the idea of a guy that's not always into them or not into them. It's like he's in for a second, then he's out. It's in and it's out, and those are the guys that are really successful, and that's what I think most guys can't do.
What's sad though is nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to learn that. So I tried when I first started Modern Success back in the day, Modern Flirting. I had a 45-minute talk on eye contact, and they told me, but I covered everything from how to do it, what you're talking about. I covered everything. 45 minutes of the perfect eye contact, the difference between eye raping and eye fucking and when to go off during a story. So, like, I broke it all down, but nobody wants to watch that.
Nobody wants to get rich slow and nobody wants to attract slow.
Exactly. They're like, this is on.
Want to get them
Too
now.
much. This is
So this is my counter to that. It doesn't matter what they want. It matters what's effective.
Oh, 100%.
but they won't watch.
But
If they don't watch it, then that's on them.
those guys
Then
would-
yes, you're gonna suck.
I feel like the majority of those guys, they would rather go.
No, but I think that's the core thing is like, it's like when we used to coach baseball, Brandon and I used to coach baseball years ago. Everyone wants to come and hit batting practice and hit home runs.
Right.
But that's not what wins baseball games.
I know.
So I wasn't gonna be like, all right, guys, I'm Albert Estrada, I'm your coach. We're gonna just practice hitting home runs today because that's what everyone likes.
Well, it's the instant gratification. I bet you those guys would rather go for 50 instant makeout attempts and fail 49 times than have like 10 reasonable interactions to learn from and keep getting better.
It's not even that. I mean, yes, they also just have egos.
Right.
So guys come in the program, some people have an ego.
Yeah.
And they'll be like,
Can't do
I
that.
don't need to watch this. I can do the whatever. And then I watch them at like a boot camp.
This is you right now.
You know what you're
This is you right now. You better get your shit.
You know what it is though? It's the same thing that we talked about where the girls are on the dating apps but acting like they're too cool to be on the dating app. It's like, no, you already paid the money. You're spending the time.
No, my friend signed me up.
I didn't
know that.
You're in the program. Just shut the fuck up and learn from the guy that's been doing it for 17 years.
I saw a guy who literally complained about the old masterclass being too long, too much information. It was too valuable, whatever. He wanted the quick stuff. He comes.
That's how every good Jedi did it.
He comes
I
to
don't
a
want
retreat.
this
He comes to a retreat, approaches 3 girls. We're in New York. I'm not going to say his name out of respect. He approaches these girls, instantly blown out. And he's like, well, those girls are mean. They're bitches. I'm like, oh, really? I go up and talk to them. I'm sitting with them. We're laughing. I just look at him like,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, the sad thing is you could have done this if on day 1 You just systematically went through everything we teach you. But it's every guy. We had a guy come over the other day. You met the Romanian guy, whatever. Poor guy, by the way. He's a cool guy. He's nice. He's totally totally cool guy. He came. He helped.
He got bait and switched.
Some handyman stuff. He got bait and switched.
Yeah.
So Anna is on this like thread back to our old building, and she's like, "I'm a helpless girl. Can someone help with this like TV mount or whatever?" This guy's like, "Oh, single girl by herself." He's like, "Oh, I'll help you, no charge." He comes over with he never said you were single, but he comes over with his dog because everyone knows you need a dog to like hang up stuff.
It's a nice play.
Yeah, it's a good play. She opens the door. Apparently he's leaning against the wall, smooth hell. And again, this guy's like a normal, sweet, cool guy, whatever. But he hears me in the other room. He sees pictures of us. He goes, "Oh fuck!" You can tell. He's like, "Oh damn it, I messed up." Finds out what we do, and then spends the next like 40 minutes telling me how I can't meet a nice girl in Florida, a pretty girl that cooks. Meanwhile, Anna's literally cooking for us, invites him for dinner. And I'm like, I mean, I got it like right here. Like I did it. You could do it. And I could see the mental games at war in his mind. Cause he's like, I want this, but I can't ask for this because I'm good. So I was like, my friends need it. I got friends who need this. And so now he's like hitting me up to hang out. I'm hanging out. Like he's a normal, cool guy, but there's something about this. Like that guy, I guarantee probably got a personal trainer for the gym. I guarantee you have no problem asking for a business coach. But God forbid, dating, like it just triggers guys.
I think that's like 100%, Jared, if you really boil it down to like one of the biggest reasons why you and I became elite at this is we walked in knowing we knew nothing. Knowing that we had zero competence, zero confidence, zero ability to execute. And we're just like, I was a sponge. I was just like, whatever. And I was actually telling somebody this the other day. I'm like, the way I've coached has changed and my journey's changed, but it had to. Like when I first started, I needed literally a script. I can't have an interaction. So I needed to do the old mystery method of like, this is how you start a conversation. This is the next thing you transition.
Have you seen that fight outside?
Yeah, I literally, but I needed that. And now it's hilarious to me to coach someone that way because I think it's kind of beyond us. Like, but we needed that. And we walked in with no ego, no confidence. And these guys that come in, it's hilarious because they're just fighting against themselves. Like they want the results, but they don't want to admit that they need the help. Right?
It's very weird.
They don't want to commit to the process. They don't even when Jarrett and myself and the coaches provide information, they think they know best. And those are the guys that are going to always be frustrated. We've had people that left the program, very few, and didn't get great success. And I think it's always the ones that don't commit to the process.
Is there something about the Spartans of, I call it the Spartans of old, the burn the ships. You know that concept?
Yeah, burn the boats.
So for those who don't know, the burn the boats or burn the ships, Spartans would go to another neighboring land, and as soon as they landed, the commanders would burn their ships to get back so they can't get back home. And the troops were like, what the fuck? Why did you just burn our ride? You go, that's not your ride. Your ride is owned by these other guys. We will either take their shit or we will die trying, but retreat is not an option, so get out of your head right now. And it's like most guys don't have that because to have that, you have to hit rock bottom like I was or like you were, right? Like we had to hit rock bottom. Even you could say like, when we found you.
No, I was upset.
On my couch.
I was broken up.
Founding was a good way to put it.
But that's the best.
Yeah.
Like people don't value being at rock bottom because at rock bottom.
When I learned too, I had no intention of like using any of it right away. And I think that's actually key. I literally like absorbed for like, 2 months or whatever. I was like getting over my breakup and I was just like, taking in information. And I think that's huge is like, if you want to like learn stuff to immediately have success, then like you're just in the wrong thing. You're just in the wrong thing. You can go and like practice it and like start like working on your program and stuff like that. But if you're going with the intention of having success quickly, it's the wrong thing. And it's one of the only like areas. And funny enough, I think that I'm in the other area where people try to do shit themselves. In real estate, it's like, I have no sales experience, no business experience. I could sell this $600,000 home by myself. So weird. Like you'd never do your own dental work or legal work or whatever, but you can't ask for help to like sell your house with dating or maybe to like start investing in like stocks yourself or something. People who have no business doing this shit are just like, I got this. It's fine.
It's crazy. I like the Hormozy quote, like the guys also. So number one is rock bottom. So you don't want to get, you need to change. But the other thing too, I think why I got really good with this is because the man who likes to walk is going to go further than the man who wants a destination. It's like that hit.
Albert and I didn't even say anything. We're like, that's deep.
Yeah.
We both look like, yeah.
But it's true. Like when you like the journey, you're gonna do
Right.
more. I like going out night after night after night. I got off on it because I'm like, and it goes back to the origin story. Shout out to that last episode we're talking about origin story, where if I didn't have that one experience, I would have given up. I would have quit. Where I was sitting on the grass and the girls were like sitting around me. I'm doing the cube to every single one of them, and I'm watching them hang on my word. And after that, I'm like, this is, I can never go back. It was like a drug now. Now I'm hooked. And I hope everybody gets that kind of experience. So,
Yeah.
speaking of experience, I heard last night or the other night, Birthright Girl. You want to talk about that?
What?
Jewish girl. I heard. So last night I get a random message. I get a random message from a girl I knew. Like we went to Israel with on Birthright, saying, ask your friend about the crazy cat lady.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was talking about.
You have no idea.
I still don't know what
So I met a girl somewhere. Don't recall. Drink a lot, and who knows?
Apparently she ran out at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I met a girl that apparently knew Jared from Birthright,
Okay.
and I met her at a location unknown. Who knows? I could have been. I've been living a pretty wild life lately, so it's hard for me to say. But
Well, I'm an indoor cat now, so I want to hear these stories. Like, I need to know what
this
it's
is
like
me
out there.
5 days a week. I'm out there. You're like, you're like a guy that's like, I used to be in the field and I'm like, buddy, I'm out there taking grenades.
living
every
it.
day, every
Yeah,
day.
so-
people's the average time that people go out with me is the wildest night of their life, and I do that 4 nights a week. I have everyone's wildest night of their life 4 nights a week. Brett could probably confirm that. People are like, that was the most insane thing that ever happened to me. Can you believe
Albert's
it?
just like, that's a Wednesday.
No, but I'm like, I don't even register it happening. Like Jared's like, what happened that night? I'm like, I don't know. Who knows what happened
It's
that
like
night?
stuff we've talked things. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm out there.
Yeah,
I'm
I
out
don't think
there
a therapist would have an opinion on that at all. I think you're fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I met a girl the other day, and she was a friend of yours.
No recollection. You're just like, oh, some girl.
We hung out. I think I don't have much information on.
You didn't take her to the promised land?
I don't have much information on that.
matter. That's
So this is your classic like quasi married. This is what I get. All the guys my age now, they're like married. They're at home. They don't go out. They don't do anything. So they're like, "Ow, tell me what it's like to be in Vegas at the strip club." And I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's
nice. Get the buffalo wings.
In my defense, I don't really do the whole club scene and stuff anymore, but I went out with you and Brand, and you were like, hey, the boy still got, like, I held my own. So
still got it for sure.
Kid still got it.
But I don't know.
I was literally before we went out, I'm like, so what's different? What could we expect?
He really did. He's like, what's to do things with technology? He's like, what's going on out here? He's like, what am I
He just
missing?
opens a set of girls. He's like, so what's new with sex?
No, I just, I don't even know what
It wasn't that different, though.
It wasn't that different. No, you still have it.
Girls are still girls.
Girls
Music's
are
still
still
music.
girls. Yeah, it's the same bag of
He's like a
tricks
different
and-
era basketball player. He's
Yeah.
like they put Michael Jordan in today's
He's like, why are you guys taking so many threes?
Yeah, he's like, the courts are different. The uniforms have changed a little bit.
I will say, I know you hate routines and some, and I
No,
get it.
I don't hate 'em.
I like the improv.
Here's my thing with routines. And if you're listening and you're using sound bites or the same openers, they are very important training wheels. They're something that will help you get over the hump when you can't speak. Like if I didn't have routines or canned lines or, DHV stories and all that stuff, yeah, I never would have been able to get to the level I got. But if you ever want to be elite, you can never use any of that stuff because it's inorganic, it's inauthentic, and it puts you in a not present way. So anybody that's coaching that or doing that, that's really geared towards newer guys.
But elaborate on that. So do you, because you said it's training wheels, so do you wean it off or do you go out like a specific night and you're like, I'm not going to use it tonight unless I have to?
The only thing that I'll use that's even, because it's not a routine, Jared's talking about routines, is like I'll use certain sound bites that are fun.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying when if you're talking about progression, because we're trying to help people. So if you're talking about progression, how do you progress from, if you're saying it's a needed training wheel, how do you get off of them? Do you wean yourself slowly? Do you just say this set, I'm not going to use it?
So it's a matter of repetition. So the thing about, it's almost like the Malcolm Gladwell, what is it? Is it 10,000 hour rule or whatever the rule is?
10,000 hours to master it.
To master, right? So as you put in all these hours and you're using these training wheels, during these interactions, you're going to find these aha moments where you discover your own style. Like,
He's saying, do you go cold turkey or do you wean off it?
no, so what I'm saying is you're using all these training wheels to get out there and have interactions and put yourself in positions that you've never been before. And during those interactions, you're going to find moments where you're like, oh, that was my own original thing I just came up with, and I like that, right? And you're going to find your own things and your own way of interacting, but you need the training wheels to put you in the car, to get you on the road.
So you think it just happens in a natural progression of like
You
need
develop-
to just, as long as you commit to not relying on it, you think it'll just naturally, the training wheels fall off.
Yeah, I needed those training wheels to put in all the approaches and all the time that I've done to now develop my own style.
So you don't
just
have
the
to
way,
force them off. They're just
just
going
the
to
way
come off.
Jarrett's developed his own style with the attraction ladder.
Brandon still doesn't know.
Which Brandon still doesn't know what the attraction ladder
Send me like
is.
a link or something.
I don't care what anyone says. I will cube to the day I die. You have a before end of the girl was saying you have a video of me cubing the girl on the flight. The test or whatever. You have a video of me cubing the girl on the flight. I swear, but some stuff I do, like, yes, I obviously, routine, like you shouldn't ever be dependent on a routine. You should be able to like read a girl. Like, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
But some stuff I do because it's just nostalgic. I just like it. It's like a magician with his old. It's like old faithful. I don't know.
For your perspective, Brandon, for the viewers here, it's almost like I was like Lil Wayne mid of his career, and I'm just like, because I don't write shit because I ain't got time. Like, I just became a freestyle rapper, and like Jarrett's like, but it's fun to write down the raps, and I'm like, and and I'm like, dude, I just freestyle.
I look at it like I'm bringing back my greatest hits. It's like
Yeah.
you're like only new music. You're like that musician. Like only new songs. I'm like I'm the Beatles, like Rolling Stones. Like I got the fan favorites. I know you like it.
Jared thinks he's the Rolling Stones and the Cube is Satisfaction. He's like, I got him.
Yeah.
You gotta give him the cube.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving her an experience. I'm not gonna take away the cube. It's just like little things.
That's funny. Yeah, you're like a long time touring rock band, and I'm like a EDM DJ who's going to be at Ultra, one of these festivals. I'm like, I got to play a new set with new music, or we got to keep
Don't
it
get
going.
me wrong. I want to play some new stuff. I want to give him some good. I want to.
He's like
test things
90%.
out. Yeah,
90%.
About like 90 to 80% is all new. But every now and then, the 5 questions game. Every now and then, the Q
5 question
Five
game.
questions
So I used to run the 5 questions game all the time. Do you want to explain the 5 questions game? So the 5 question game was one of the few routines I actually really liked. What?
And see, you really liked it. You're like, I had to give it up because of my own damn rule. Damn it.
No, it's just cheesy as shit to do routines. It's for newbies. Only newbies and like.
He's like, I really liked it. It worked every time. Never use it now.
Okay, here's the problem with it. And this is why I don't like it. The style of game that I do is so, to use the word seismic, like the reactions I get, people are like,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so humble.
No.
He's like, it's like seismic.
Don't
He's like, you can feel
undersell
tectonic plates moving under the earth as I'm gaming the girl.
Brandon, I
Don't undersell it.
No, but I literally I literally do like mind reading. So I do things.
Oh, yeah.
Jared used to be like,
No, it is really impressive. I won't give it down. She'll say something like, so where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm from Idaho. He's like, go Ravers. It's like, how did you know my college was, or my high school in Idaho mascot was the
dude, you used to think I had good cold reads like 3 years ago, and then I really dove into it. You should see what I'm doing now. Like, it's like the shit I guess from people just from like figuring stuff out is like next level. So when I do, here's the problem with
seismic.
Albert's literally like a chef. He's like, anybody who's still using sun-dried tomatoes is an idiot. He's like, avocado, puh. He's like, all about it.
No, but the problem is the routines work against you now, because when you have good in the moment game, the routines now make you feel pick-uppy, because it's like, oh, this guy's trying to pick me up now. Whereas when you do that stuff, you can't fake it, right? It's almost like, oh, that 5 question game, it's always going to end up with, so how many girls have you said that to?
See,
right?
for me, though, it sounds fun because I've literally never used one. So
it's
sounds
super
like
fun.
It sounds fun because I'm like, oh, just like play a little game.
I'll play the game.
I've literally never done any of these.
But you've never played before?
I've seen you do the cube.
I'm gonna ask, all right,
I've seen you do
let's
5
try it. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. All you have to do is lie.
I know the game. I've seen you do the game.
Are you done?
Oh yeah. I've seen you do. I have never used it. I have also been out with you 1,000 times, so I've seen you do it.
For the guys who don't know, let's just run through it.
let's run through it.
Let's just. All right. Really don't have 5 questions. All right. So
You want to do it like I don't know what's coming?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you 5 questions. All you have to do is lie. Okay.
Okay, Jer.
All right. Usually, by the way, here's a new spin. Sometimes I'll do a bet on it. But if you lose, if I get you tell the truth, you have to call me daddy for the rest of the night.
All right, Daddy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There you go. So the game starts now. Who's the president?
Donald Trump,
What country we in?
Uruguay,
All right. What color is your jacket?
magenta.
How many questions is that again?
I don't know, Jared. I think that was 3.
Ah, damn. You played this game before, haven't you?
Yeah.
That Angeles.
Oh, shucks.
That's 5. You lose.
That is 5.
And usually they say no, but it's okay.
Whatever you say, Daddy.
So the trick is the 4th question's the first trick. Okay, how many questions is that again? If they're smart, they'll be like 3. Or the which is telling the truth, and then you win, which I should have won, but I want to get to 5. If they're smart, they'll go like 17 or 28 or whatever. And then you go, damn it. Oh, you're good. Shit. Wait, hold on. Have you played this before? And they'll go, no, never. And that's 5. You lose. And then they call you daddy the rest of the night. And that's a very nice feeling to have.
My problem with routines, Jared, I think when I think about it, more so than being cheesy, is just it
Works
works.
seismic enough.
It works.
Seismic.
It works against the rest.
He's
of
like
your,
super volcano. Sorry.
it works against the rest of your game. So if the rest of your game's really good, and then you start doing routines, it's just like, okay, this guy's just like a pickup dude. Like this guy, he knows too much. He's too smooth. Like when your game, that's really good when you have no game, but it's really bad when you have good game.
Yeah.
Like really, really.
I'm
Bad.
like, do you think it applies if you're not seismic?
I know. We're never going to let seismic.
No. Seismic is
Everything
never
can be
done.
seismic now. I do have a question in the podcast. So we're making it big time. We're getting questions coming in for the.
Oh, you got a question?
Yeah, question for
Nice.
this podcast. The question is, how do you get a second date? So this guy is the king of getting first dates. Like, I get first dates all the time. I can't get a second date. I get ghosted after the first date. What is going on? How do I get a second date?
Not a sarcastic answer of have a really good first date, right?
Right, but what does that mean? How does that go?
Send him the old first date script. Can't go wrong. Dude, the old first date script was can't go wrong.
Fuck it. I think both of us made Dave and Buster's our dish, like the barcade, and I got it down so much to a. And maybe it's a routine, and I don't know. I don't know what you said. Like I knew halfway through this date, I'm gonna take her to the Jurassic Park ride, pull the curtains, and that's when I'm gonna go for the kiss. Like everything about it.
See, that's
is down.
great because that doesn't seem planned. Like that's good. That's really good.
Little do they know.
Right, but that's good. That's okay with that. Yeah,
I still can't step foot in an arcade. Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree with him, and like I just think he's like bad at dating, and like I think a lot of guys make a lot of dating mistakes.
So what are the top dating mistakes? What are these guys doing wrong?
Top dating mistakes is number one. You have to have yourself, your place, and your plan really well. Like
I think it starts there though. It's number one, have a plan.
yeah, you're
Number one, have a plan.
Well,
know what the next 5 things are and have a backup plan for a couple of those
like
things.
here's my first date rundown. I would have the girl meet me at my place, and then tell her that from my place.
Do the forget wallet trick?
Oh yeah. Forget wallet tricks a month.
Yeah, let me
Forget
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So I'd have her meet at my place, and then tell her that from there I'm going to drive us or Uber from us.
Right.
What's the benefit of that on the back end, Jared?
So you have to end at your place.
We have to end at my place. So you're already pre-establishing logistics.
Yeah.
I'm always going to have, I never will catch me dead without having a Listerine spray. So I'm never going to have bad breath on a first date. I'm going to have chapstick. I'm going to have cash on a first date. Why do we need cash? Because you might wherever you go, you might need a line. You might have to grease the guy. So you need to have cash in every first date. Your place needs to be immaculately clean when they walk in and see the place, so they know your place is not a dungeon.
Which, by the way, was the only time we all lived together. That was the only time our place was ever clean.
It was fucking go mode though.
Yeah.
The three of us could clean a messy apartment like that.
It was like sound the alarm, sound the alarm.
Brandon, what do we call it? Hashtag
I don't know.
Turbo Clean, you idiot.
Turbo Clean.
You know,
dude.
you know what it is. TC, Turbo Clean.
I forgot about TC.
Turbo Clean is a nice, quick tidy up.
Just to stress on this though, like have a fucking clean place. If you can't have a clean place on the first date, a girl has no faith you're ever gonna have a clean place.
Wait, by the way, we left him on a cliffhanger.
We did jump to forget your wallet. So when they come to your place, you tell them, all right, I'm going to meet you downstairs, and then you're either going to drive, right? I'm going to meet you downstairs, and I'm going to drive you, or we're going to get an Uber, and then, oh no, I forgot my wallet upstairs.
Oh,
Okay, we're just going to run in real quick to get the wallet. That's when they get the momentary, hey, don't get any ideas, just a momentary tour. This is my place.
when does the tour end with?
Oh, actually, I don't know. I don't do
Tour ends with the bedroom, but as soon as you see the bedroom, you rush him out. because they think, wait, he's going to try something. I get him right out.
I never went that deep. I
didn't
just
do that
went in.
You do him the plate. You're not going to show him the the bedroom, the bathroom, none of it.
I never showed my bedroom ever.
You just went in the living room.
Literally, my biggest thing.
So I just here's why. Because once she's been in my bedroom, even innocently, just to giving her the tour, I get her the hell out of there. Because at the end of the night, when I want to go back to the bedroom, it's not the unknown.
I felt that way about
mysterious.
the venue itself.
Yeah,
Yes.
that I thought it was good enough to just be like, this is my place. I'm showing
one
off.
step further.
I'm literally at that point though. I'm showing off how clean and tidy things are. That's all.
I think
all
I did the
care
bedroom,
about.
but I didn't necessarily end with it. But I agree with Jared. It's like once they enter the place,
It's not mysterious.
and it's not like that. Oh, I don't want to go into your, like she's already been there. There's no
Yeah, it's not.
dungeon. There's no chains.
That was my number one comment. As you can see, normal, clean place, not a dungeon,
Right.
and that was good enough.
And then beyond that, it's when you go to the date, you should be going to home field places. So places that you know the people that work there, you know the environment, you know the sound, you know you're not going to have a line. You're not going to be like, oh, I heard this restaurant's good. Let's try it out. You should never be trying.
no mysteries.
You shouldn't be trying new things.
tried and true. It's a
And then you should have a couple places you should go to. You should have your initial place, and then if that goes well, there's another place nearby that's good.
Why is that? Go to multiple places.
Why is that, Jared?
Time distortion. If you take a girl to one place for 4 hours, it feels like one day, 4 hours. But if you take her to 4 places in those 4 hours, I'm just using, don't literally go hour to hour, but 4 places in 4 hours, it feels like 4 different dates. It feels like she knows you a lot more than just going to one place.
Don't gloss over this though. If your date involves food, you better have a fucking reservation, or you better know that that place is not empty.
Oh, yeah.
That is such a rookie mistake of walking into a place, even if it's a place I've done this, even if it's a place where I know it's not going to be busy. If they accept reservations at that place, call ahead. Do you take reservations? If the answer is yes, you make a reservation.
Yeah, nothing worse than showing up a place and they don't have your table ready. You have to wait around. None of that stuff.
And you can audible. If the place is dead empty, then don't be a tool and be like reservation and you see, 40 tables, whatever. But if you have a reservation, it's automatically this guy's thoughtful, he's smart, he's like a reasonable human that I can do this again.
And then don't do the stuff that, we talk about that seems super simple, but might not be to everyone else. Never take her to a place like the movies, right?
Right.
You don't take a girl to a movie theater.
You don't need to go to 5-star restaurants or Michelin star.
Don't take her to a show, nothing where there's going to be like talking prohibited.
Yeah, you want something interactive where you can have a conversation. You can kind of, get to know each other.
So, for example, for those who are taking notes, our barcade, mini golf, axe throwing, picnic. You could do a picnic thing. You could do
Bowling.
Bowling's
a good one. Shooting pool.
Shooting guns on it if she's into that.
Shooting guns is cool. Archery, I've done.
So just anything. There was a really cool one I saw. I don't know how easy this one is, but it's like a weird adult version jungle gym.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
a trampoline thing,
Yeah.
or crabbing. So I'm like, that's awesome. But
that's very cool.
Anything that's active.
Oh, here we're glossing over another thing. If you're planning an active date, tell the girl what kind of shoes or outfit to wear.
Don't tell. I used to play with. I didn't tell her what the date was, but I said wear comfy shoes.
Right.
And she said, "Where are we going?" Like you'll find out. And
Yeah,
I
you
love
can
this-
get silly with it. You can say wear comfy shoes and bring dental floss and a towel
Right.
or
I
whatever.
would say, and something
Yeah.
red.
Yeah.
She goes, why not do red? It's so important.
Yeah.
You have to have something red. And she goes, all right, I brought the red thing. Why? I'm like, I was fucking with you. Like you should.
That's
I loved
great.
it.
That's really good.
Oh, we always used to
That's
call it
really
mystery
good.
date. We're taking you on the mystery date.
Yep.
That's really
Just
good. Bring
wear
something
comfy
red.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to fall in love with one line, but it's a little difficult. It was how do I dress? And it was like dress like you might run into your ex-boyfriend and you want to make him jealous.
And then you realize that's not so seismic.
Yeah, it's not as seismic as it could be. In terms of dress internally for ourselves, make sure that your clothes is clean. If you're going to wear a dress shirt, make sure it's pressed. Make sure you
Tailor your clothes.
showered and smell good.
Yeah,
and all
deodorant.
just hygiene. It's so hard to have a bad first date. So
It really is.
I mean, not from what I've seen. You'd think, but I see a lot. Also, here's another one we glossed over: the kiss. Every fucking movie show has got it all wrong. The hitch, the keys at the end of the night. Fuck that.
yep,
In the middle of the date,
100%.
kiss in the middle of the date. Everybody goes to the end.
High point.
High point. That's a whole nother. I'm really look at that. But middle of the date and the why jar, because once you kiss, the whole vibe changes. The whole second half of the date is like now we're like coupley and
I
we're
would say
kissing.
100%.
more important than middle of the date, it's middle of the activity portion of the date. So if your plan is to do something active and then go get a meal, then you have to aim for the middle to middle end of the activity.
I would scale it back and say read the vibe more so than that. Don't be like it's gotta. Don't don't do this force frame
I'm
shit.
not saying force it, but I'm saying
Yeah.
your logistics go out the window if you're sitting across from somebody at a table.
Somewhere
had it
between
so down.
40 to 60% through the day. That's but you don't have to do it like
No,
all right,
no.
it's time for the kiss.
I'm just
That's
saying
not
try
a
to
thing.
do it around. I'd rather
Around
do it
the middle.
early during the activity than after the dinner portion.
And what Jared said is super valuable. Like after that kiss is like the whole
It's all
dynamic.
it's all different.
You know what?
I had it down to a science. I would take the girl to Dave & Buster's. I'd start off with the basketball thing. I'd swat the ball out of her hands because prison rules. We'd start fighting, whatever, do the shooting thing. Then at a high point, I take her to the bar to get drinks. 2 drinks. I'm qualifying her. We're connecting. After these 2 drinks, now I take her to Jurassic Park. We pull the curtains. We're in the little booth. I lose. I'm like, all right, you lost, but you're a winner to me. And then I go and I kiss her and it's over.
It's
And
also
then-
easier for you as a guy because you're not sitting there like step, getting closer to the door. Another step. Am I gonna
no
kiss
more
her?
cry.
Step. Don't be a bitch. Step. It's like there's no buildup. You're just having fun. You should genuinely be trying to have fun, and you're just riding the.
And there's
high.
that tension of when's the kiss gonna be. When you
Right.
get it done, it's just like you both relax. You're like, okay, we like each other. It's a good deal. It's done.
Do you break it down? I've never been a part of this. Do you break it down with students of like, don't go for like a makeout, like go for like a gentle, soft kiss at first, like don't like stick your tongue down their
I
throat.
want to go. The
I
idea
think
is
that's important of like
when
how to get a
she-
second date.
It's a good point.
when you go to kiss her, and you can tell she's enjoying it, like the most, like she's like leaning into her, pushing. That's when you break away. Like you want to lead, like everything's about what you said on the high note.
But what I'm saying
Even
is,
more.
what I'm saying is, do you talk about how to get to the enjoyable part of a kiss, like with some of these guys that don't have experience, who are just like going in like, oh, I'm having such a nice time, like that's not.
Yeah,
a
they're
good,
always like,
do you get
"Oh,
into
no,
that?
We're not coaching that enough.
well,
You guys have to coach that.
I mean, our guys just aren't getting there enough. So
No,
we're
no,
doing so much
But I'm
other
saying
stuff.
for this guy in particular, of how I'm not getting enough second dates. Like maybe he's jamming his tongue down this girl's throat.
When we talk about sexual tension of release, build. So I do go into that, the whole concept where most guys, once they kiss a girl or anything sexual, they're like sharks in the water. Like they smell the blood and they're like, give me. Versus, all right, you escalate, that releases the tension. So now you got to build the tension back up. You got to anticipate more. Then you make a bigger move, releases the tension. Now you got to build it up even more. And round and
Well,
round.
giving
it
and
goes.
taking away builds sexual tension, right? If you give her a kiss and you pull away a little bit and then
Now
you
you
come
build
in,
it back.
that all of that back and forth, again, it's all correlated. It's like the same thing I talked about earlier with eye contact.
I still think you have to get like deeper because I know that you talk about like how to put your arm around a girl mechanics. Like you need to get into like, as weird as it sounds, like kiss mechanics of like have like a reasonable, gentle first kiss and do not try to make it.
I'm on Albert so we can visually see it. Make it seismic.
Make it real seismic. Fuck, I had a good thing to say.
Keep getting them stuck on sides.
Seismic always works.
So
like,
you know,
just-
Jared, you know where I do most of my first kiss? This is like, it sounds weird to say this, but the way I execute most of my first kiss situations are me going to the bathroom.
Yeah, hot.
Nothing sexier than taking a girl to the bathroom for the kiss.
So-
No, I go to the bathroom.
And
They
then
don't-
when you come back,
No, on the way. So we go to a bar.
hey, baby,
I gotta take a shit.
I gotta
Before I go. Like, that is the greatest buildup.
I'm serious.
He's like,
I'm sure it's a release.
yeah, seismic.
They are pissed. No. So what I do is you get to the bar and then I leave the place. So a lot of times when the kiss happens, you kiss and you're together. So I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and watch my drink. So I leave them with a compliance test. And as I'm leaving towards the bathroom,
Hold on, I forgot something.
I give them the kiss, and then they have that. Like as I give them the kiss, I'm gone. So it's like giving them the feeling of
I
getting
just
that.
got this image of the girl being like, you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, he's gotta take a nice shit. I go, but first.
Why would you think of shit?
Oh no, then he
Because
gets.
you're in the bathroom.
Just gonna go to the bathroom.
He comes back. He runs his head across her cheek. He goes, "Just wash my hands."
I just don't see the bathroom. I don't know, man.
I love
I
it
don't
because
want to mention the bathroom with my first kiss. Is what Jarrett's saying.
You guys are confusing this. So it's the idea of I am departing, and on the way of you departing the interaction, you're giving them a kiss, and then you're gone.
I
And now-
understand what you're
does that-
saying.
and it literally leaves them wanting more. Like, fuck, he just kissed me. It felt good, and now he's not
And
here.
now I wonder what she's visualizing the whole time.
He's doing something else that feels good.
Buddy,
but he's really jerking in the bathroom.
you're back in 1 minute. No, it's
That's how you know. That's how you know Albert's game is really, really good. He can be like, "I'm going to the bathroom," and still getting kisses. Do not try this at home.
He comes back with toilet paper on his shoe, and he's like, "Let's do
This is only for seismic level coaches. Do not start with
I mean,
this
are you
beginners.
guys not
this
going-
poor guy can't get a second date. And you're like, tell the girl you're going to drop a D.
I could
Why don't you guys think that the bathroom has to do with shit?
I could fuck
You
her.
guys not
He's like,
pee?
you know how many good things happen in the bathroom?
You guys not wash your hands, pee? What's going on with you guys?
For
It's
everyone,
not romantic.
please use the bathroom kiss routine and let us know
God.
how this goes. I promise it won't end you with doing a crap.
Albert's like, step 1, eat the nacho. Step 2, grab your stomach. Step 3, I don't feel so good. Step 4, gently grab her cheek. Step 5, go for the kiss.
It's like, here's our prayer for everything. Carl, get onions.
Step. He goes, baby, I'm gonna be in there for a while, but I'm gonna miss you.
That's funny.
He's totally like, I really gotta go.
He's like, I don't feel so good. I might not return, but if I don't, mwah. How do you get away with this?
Just send her
It's
memes
unbelievably
of like Dumb and Dumber, the guy in the toilet, just sending her like gifts.
It's unbelievably effective.
He just pulls out the wet wipes. He's just
Okay,
like,
if you have to poop, don't do this.
so this is,
But if you're
to
gonna be-
clarify, this is not for an actual bathroom. Don't go when you actually have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. You just go away from the table for a minute.
Going away. How about I gotta take a call real quick? I gotta call my mom, make sure she's okay. But
That's okay.
I gotta adjust the dead body in the back of my trunk.
Seems a
stop
little
better.
weird. I gotta take a call.
Anything else?
I
I gotta take a call.
Sure.
I gotta leave.
I
Hopefully
think it
there's
seems a
not
little
long
shady, but
line.
it's okay.
Here's something you guys. So another little tip from my guy for second dates. You might actually disagree on this one because I could see it being perceived as needy, but I look at it as a sale. I got this more from the business side, a sales thing, and it's called BAM FAM, which is book a meeting from a meeting. So at a high point in the date, I'll plan the second date with her right there in person. And I could see that being perceived as needy. I get it because it's like, oh, you're going for the second date. But my mentality on this is, look, if she's having fun right now and we're at the highest point, if she's not down to plan a second date and put in her head and plan the logistics or whatever right there, then I'm just like asking for it to be harder on a text message later on when the oven temperature cools. You see what I'm saying?
I go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you finish on that.
No, but I get like, oh, you should just be enjoying that moment. But I'm like, this is a known sales tactic is like on this meeting, book a meeting from a meeting. So now we already know we're going to, like, it's Tuesday. I already know I'm going to see her again on Thursday. We planned it out. We talked about it. She's down because we're at a high. So now it's planned. It's done. I don't have to like plan this date.
My only counter to that is the only time that you can feel any of the like old school dating jitters or provide that to a girl, like the good tingly butterfly type feelings, is like right before your first date and right after that, like time between when you're gonna like text them again is like a good buildup, and then you're gonna get a good response when you do text or call them. And if you pre-plan it, you're like getting rid of that and going back to this like constant communication like too soon.
Well, you don't have to. Okay.
I don't like the pre-plan
No,
personally.
I can literally take what you said though. But imagine this: I do the pre-plan, and then she doesn't hear from me the next day, and now she's like, "Well, do we have the plan? Do we not? I thought we made the plan. Why am I?" But
then-
you can still play with that.
I think that's rapport breaking, but
I'm on Jared's side of this.
you're on Jared's side?
I love-
Interesting. I like the seeding of it, but I
But
don't
now
like the
I don't
planning
know
of
if I'm on my side. If the crapper guys,
This is rare, guys. Albert is on Jared's
yeah,
side.
this is right. This is
Go
good.
for it.
No, Jared's correct on this for several reasons. Because it's coming from a place of congruency. So a lot of things that happen in dates, and it's like this, like, oh, we're like, I got to break rapport, like this, that. It's like, no. Like he's saying, and I look at it backwards. You're like, get to the high point and then plan the second date. I'm like, if we arrive at a high point, I'm going to congruently reward her for getting a positive thing. So it makes sense.
Riding the wave.
Yeah.
I like seeding a second date. I like, oh, like we should check out that concert or we should check out that restaurant or do that thing. I don't like, what are you doing Thursday? So what are we, just to clarify,
No,
what are you saying?
I'll get into
You're like nitty gritty Thursday.
I never. Like this, it's like when the vibe is palpable, you vocalize that. This is actually like a good vibe. This is cool. You know what? We should do this. You're like in real time aware of what's happening and saying that we should do something else because that
You're going to
moment is
accuse me
going
of being
well.
like a natural or whatever, but like, I I trust the vibe, and I think the second date's kind of like assumed at that point. And I'll cede other stuff, but I'm not like ever like checking my.
I just don't like this texting where I'm like, do I ask her out, or we have to figure out what does she want to do? Da, da, da. I'd rather just handle that in person. I hate texting for logistics.
Once there's a first,
I like to just flirt and be playful. That's it.
Especially in today's world, like you lose a lot of momentum. People are too flaky. Like you can have people like change their mind, have other options. Like you need to capitalize when the vibe is high,
correct,
and literally be like, "This is a good vibe," and it also demonstrates awareness because a lot of guys are like asking girls on second dates at the wrong time because they're like, "I like her. We should do another thing," and she's like, "I don't feel the same way." So like, huge. It demonstrates that you're aware of when the high part is in the date, and awareness is everything.
And what you just said, I see this mistake again and again and again and again. Guys will be texting or cold approaching or talking to a girl, and it'll go low.
They just blurt it out.
They don't know what to do, so they like, "Will you go out with me?" Or let's go for the kiss. Yeah, it's a freak out of like it's not going well, so
I don't know what else to do, so I'm gonna go to this.
And it's just like here's not the move,
dude. So
it's literally the opposite.
It's killing you.
Yeah.
I think that people who are just starting rely on text game. I actually think text game is harder than FaceTime and phone calls because you can't.
It is harder,
dude. You can't get any tone or body language or anything.
Full circle on that. I used to be a big text guy. I've come full circle.
Texting is way more advanced. You're reading so many subtleties. I think that if you're just starting, the more you can get somebody on the phone or FaceTime, it is so much easier. FaceTime is good for your students as well.
I love it. I teach the FaceTime before
not only is it easier, then you're getting more interaction.
But it's scarier, and that's the problem. It's scarier. They don't want to do. I've actually flipped.
The success is so much higher.
Like, Albert, you're the text guy. Now I love my text. I'm fucking phenomenal with the texting. I'm good with that shit.
But it's harder.
It was absolutely
one
of the hardest things. Yeah,
it's harder to master.
It was one of the hardest things. Definitely texting was hardest things. You know, I remember
dude. I remember us like debating: should we go ... or ... That was the greatest.
Yeah, but to Jared's point, I agree that like guys, they fuck that up all the time, and those are the cringiest moments because the girl feels like, oh, I don't like this guy. Now he's asking me for more.
And it's energy sucking too, because then they're feeling like they have to carry the conversation.
It's fucking that's a nuclear bomb.
This is how far my text game got, by the way. You think this is hard? Turning ghosting around. So my biggest request was, are these girls ghosting me because I did something cringe, because I messed up the first date?
You remember the old one?
What?
You don't remember the old one?
I might be my guy. I created a whole book on what to do if a girl ghosts you. And I literally have copy. And by the way, if anybody wants that, just message me the word gift and it's yours for free. But like, I developed this whole guide because people kept asking me. So I'm like, I have to get ghosted. And now I have to figure out like lines and texts that would turn this around. It was like one of the hardest things to figure out. Yeah. What's the old one?
Before you had like Spotify and like gifts and stuff like that, we recorded that song. Say something, I'm giving up on you.
I forgot.
And we used to send that, and that was fucking worked like a charm.
Yep.
That was amazing.
We had to
send it from Spotify.
But also that song was like getting popular at the time, or it was known. Yeah. Now they might not know what the hell that song is. I mean, how sad is that these like new Gen Z kids will never get these amazing jokes or sound bites because it ages out. I think we got a good like.
It just died. Years. It's over. It just died. Like some of my references just died.
I think 5 minimum. You at least 5, 10. You're done.
Yeah, I think a lot of these references just go right in the toilet.
Speaking of, you know one of the saddest ones? Anchorman. All gone.
Done.
They can't get the Anchorman references. All these amazing little one-liner sound bites from Anchorman. It's over. It broke my heart.
A glass case of emotion.
Yeah. Speaking of over, I think it's about that time, guys. The fire's gone out, and I think we're going to have to leave you with one shitty note.
Poo impact?
The poo impact. Make sure, leave in the comments, will you be using...
Kiss and piss.
Kiss and piss. Let us know in the comments if you're using a kiss and piss.
Is really good.
See you in the next episode.
Kiss and piss is really good.
Yeah, kiss and piss.